like I'm doing everything.
I'm trying to drive you crazy.
Like you do nothing at all.
I'm trying to drive you crazy.
If you hear how you talk, you do absolutely nothing. There's nothing to apologize. There's nothing you never did. You can't
I
even.
own my.
No, you don't.
I own my.
No, but even when something happens, I don't even say everything.
You bring people into this marriage.
You do too.
You were just in a person's DM that you used.
Finally, Erica Dixon has addressed the serious allegations of child abuse that Bambi, Lil Scrappy's former spouse, made against her on Tuesday, February 20. The two had an exclusive, in-depth interview with media personality Carlos King, which was posted on YouTube in an hour and 13 minutes. Dixon made it clear that she would not back down and directly address the charges. She used the opportunity to refute the accusations and defend herself against. These have been under intense public scrutiny ever since they first came to light. The drama began in April 2023 when Dixon was allegedly abusing Bambi's daughter, Amani, who was approximately 8 years old at the time of the alleged assault. Bambi was married to Scrappy at the time, according to the Shade Room, and Bambi shared the claims on social media in an Instagram story that was later removed. Bambi claimed in her post that Dixon had physically mistreated Amani and claimed that the two had been torturing each other. Dixon also claimed that Dixon had two-pieced her own child. She said, "I never liked you because since your child was 8, she confided in me about you bullying her and tripping her," wrote Bambi. She clarified that she had been silent about the situation for years, ostensibly out of consideration for Scrappy, and because it was a legal matter because Scrappy was handling it with the court, and I let people think so. BBY hinted that legal action had already been taken to resolve the issue, but Dixon, Scrappy, and Bambi's popular reality show Love and Hip Hop Atlanta took sides in the drama that followed the charges, which led to a public spat between the two ladies. Many were surprised by the seriousness of the allegations and expected Dixon, who had largely remained silent about it until the conversation with Carlos King, to provide more details. Erica Dixon responded to the allegations. In-depth discussion of Bambi's accusations and her perspective on the subject was provided by Dixon, who angrily denied ever hitting her daughter and bemoaned the ongoing animosity between Scrappy Bambi and herself. Dixon claimed that her relationship with Amani had always been based on love, care, and protection, and that the accusations were false and harmful. Dixon claimed that Bambi's accusations were a part of a larger story that was intended to damage her image and cause her to become. Dixon, who is estranged from her daughter, was able to address the issue honestly and in her own words during the Carlos King interview, something she was unable to do immediately following the social media uproar. Fans of the ongoing dispute found the interview particularly intriguing as it marked Dixon's first public admission of correcting Bambi's accusations. Dixon saw this talk as an opportunity to clear the air and shed light on the very private and sensitive matters brought to light as the Dixon acknowledged the challenges of co-parenting as the conversation continued. She emphasized that, despite the conflict, her primary concern has always been her daughter's welfare, and she has persistently tried to provide for her financially. Dixon also talked about how difficult it may be to raise a child while juggling the complex complexities of her previous relationship with Scrappy and his current one with Bambi. With a joyful and caring environment, even though Dixon had the chance to give her side of the story during the interview, the impact of the accusations and the visibility of Dixon and Bambi's argument will likely continue to shape how their relationship is portrayed. The topic has been highly discussed among Love and Hip Hop Atlanta fans and the general public because of the charges' aftermath and the ongoing drama on the show. But Amani, who has been in the conversation, Dixon made it clear that her daughter's happiness and safety remain her top priorities despite the ongoing issues that Erica Dixon and others interested in the lives of the Love and Hip Hop performers have found to be very troubling. Dixon made a point of showing her daughter how much she loved her and how determined she was to protect her from the worst aspects of her mother and stepmother's arguments. Consolation in the Carlos King interview as the drama unfolds. Because of Dixon's eventual break from silence, the public is now more aware of the emotional complexity of the situation and the human cost it has taken on all parties. The interview has allowed Erica Dixon to regain control over her narrative and speak to those who have been following her journey for years, even though it is still unclear how this disagreement will ultimately be resolved. Bambi Scrappy's ex-wife exacerbated the situation. This shocking turn of events occurred in April 2023 when Bambi's first public accusations that Erica had physically abused her daughter Armani when the girl was just 8 years old had already driven tensions between the two women to breaking point. During the height of the drama surrounding the child abuse claims against Erica Dixon by publishing what she claimed to be hard-proof pictures from a police report that detailed the alleged abuse episode, Bambi released a series of Instagram videos and other media posts, which further fueled the already raging fire of public opinion. Bambi clarified in these posts that the police report included information regarding an alleged event in which Money reported to authorities that her mother had physically harmed her. Although it wasn't immediately clear from the images Bambi released, the article seemed to corroborate that some sort of inquiry had occurred. The play was seen by many as an intensification of the ongoing rivalry between the two women. The fan base was already polarized, with some supporting Erica Dixon and others Bambi. The story became even more complicated when the police report surfaced, hinting at the possibility that Al had a history of abuse and raising the possibility that authorities had intervened in the past after being accused of fabricating the entire story. The police report was used as evidence by Bambi in her Instagram posts to support her claim that Armani had told others about the alleged assault. Bambi said, "For those who are saying I'm lying or making this up, here's the truth," in a post that went with the report's picture gallery. "I was informed about this by Armani, and there is supporting evidence." Bambi presented the report's publication as a crucial step in protecting her own reputation. Reactions to Bambi's decision to make the police report public were not entirely unanimous. Some of her fans praised her for exposing the truth and drawing attention to a significant problem that, in their opinion, had been neglected for many years. These supporters were more than willing to tolerate documentation. "I can't stand by and allow others to believe that I'm simply leveling baseless charges longer. I've been quiet about this for far too long and kept it to myself in order to protect her." Dixon's claims emphasized the complexity of their conflict and how painful and personal it had become, especially considering the consequences for her daughter, Armani. They were convinced that Erica Dixon had actually abused her daughter in the past after the report's publication, which they saw as confirmation of Bambi's version of events. What Bambi chose to share on social media, however, provides insight into her motivations. As the interview went on, Dixon expressed her displeasure with Bambi's public portrayal of their co-parenting arrangement. She claimed that the story Bambi was fabricating was not only untrue, but also harmful to Armani's emotional condition. Dixon said she emphasized that Armani's happiness should be her first priority, and that she felt deeply betrayed that Bambi would publicly accuse her of such serious charges. "I never imagined that I would need to stand out for my morality as a mother. I've worked so hard to provide for my children's upbringing, so this whole thing breaks my heart." Dixon also acknowledged that the story was shaped by popular opinion, saying that mental health and emotional well-being were of the utmost importance, and that she reaffirmed her commitment to being a loving and caring mother. In addition to giving Dixon a chance to address the accusations, her interview with Carol Kane gave her the opportunity to regain control of her story. She wanted to alter public perception and dispel any misconceptions about her relationship with Bambi and the serious charges made against her. "I understand that genre and reality TV capitalize on it, but in the end, we are discussing my daughter's life here. This is our reality, not just a plot for viewers." As the weeks passed, the police report, the interview, and the effects of the dispute on their families became hot topics on social media. Dixon's supporters rallied around her, praising her for putting her daughter's needs first. "I just have my daughter's best interests in mind instead of this continual back and forth. I hope we can figure out a helpful and healthy approach to co-parenting. She is worthy of tranquility." Despite the support she received, many supporters expressed their dissatisfaction with the public spectacle surrounding the kid first and expressed a wish for healing and reconciliation. They repeated Dixon's remarks that Ammon was drawn into an unwarranted rivalry and that Dixon encountered considerable mistrust. The police report remained a major source of controversy, with critics claiming that, regardless of its presentation or context, its very presence implicated some misconduct. Understood that her daughter needed a safe and comforting environment away from the upheaval of public drama regarding Bambi. She persisted in defending her course of action, restating her dedication to being a loving mother. Dixon felt the weight of this constant scrutiny and tried to find constructive ways to release her energy in order to get over the argument. Examples of these ways included concentrating on her friendship with Ammani and pursuing new professional prospects. The public spat highlighted the challenges of co-parenting in the public eye when every decision is viewed with suspicion and commentary. Finding a way forward for Dixon and Bambi would require prioritizing Ammon's needs over the drama that had characterized their relationship for so long, in addition to the ladies' persistent back and forth, refusing to concede their views. Being ready to face their differences, it became clear that the dynamics of their relationship had changed as a result of the release of the police reports and Carlos King's subsequent interview. It was getting more difficult to distinguish the truth from the layers of tension and passion that had built up over time because the public's perception of both women was now mixed up with the stories they each told, and fans of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta are still divided and fascinated by Dixon. Skewing the story by only disclosing portions of the study that supported her claims and omitting crucial details that would have contradicted them. Dixon was certain that Bambi would have been cleared, and the situation would have been quite different if the entire paper had been disclosed. Dixon was obviously frustrated as she recalled that Money had never displayed any signs of anxiety or concern for her when the responding police officers spoke with the man face to face. Dixon reports that the child denied the accusations, stating, "I never said anything. My mother does not terrify me. Abuse doesn't occur." Dixon emphasized that this proved Bambi's claims lacked evidence and that the interview with Carlos Kane was a pivotal moment in her career because it allowed her to reclaim her narrative and confront Bambi's willful misrepresentations. Dixon expressed her commitment to protecting Ammon from the fallout from their public arguments by stating that her first concern was for her daughter's welfare. She conveyed a strong bond with her child and a desire to put her happiness ahead of the conflict amongst the adults in her life. Dixon said that she believed that the slander campaign had caused Ammani, who had been caught in the crossfire of their quarrel, to suffer as much as herself. Despite the chaos, she was committed to providing a happy environment for her customers. Dixon's interview tried to clarify her version of events, but it also revealed the evidence of their ongoing disagreement. She and Bambi were both adamant about their perceptions of the truth, and her disclosures regarding the police report and her accusations of Bambi's manipulation only served to widen the chasm and show how. Despite the fact that Dixon received support from both cast members and fans after the interview, the public debate over the charges persisted, and many people continued to doubt her claims, especially in light of the police report that revealed Bambi had disclosed the two women's conflict. Both supporters and detractors vehemently debated the implications of their rivalry after the interview, and Dixon continued to put her daughter and personal relationships first. As things worsened and Bambi began making more and more claims online, Dixon felt she had to stand up for herself. Dixon expressed her displeasure with Bambi's selective distribution of the police report during the Carlos King interview. She said that even though the public spat with Bambi had reached previously unheard of proportions, Ammon's happiness and well-being would always come first for the benefit of her daughter managing the situation in secret. A turning point in their rivalry was reached when the police report was made public. It gave rise to accusations that Bambi had deliberately manipulated the story by publishing only the most notable passages and omitting other crucial details that would have provided a more realistic picture of the circumstances. Dixon boasted that she didn't post the entire report, only the portions she believed would make me look bad. Dixon resisted this, holding that the report itself did not show any misconduct on her part. Dixon saw Bambi's decision to release only a portion of the report as a calculated attempt to turn the public against her. Bambi's accusations had some validity, leading supporters and observers to believe that abuse had actually occurred. If there had been any merit to Bambi's accusations, Dixon stressed in the interview, "I've always been there for my daughter, and I've made sure she knows she's loved and cared for." She clarified, "You don't post stuff like this on Instagram." Dixon further stated that Bambi's actions were what had to happen long before Bambi turned to social media. Dixon discussed the impact the ongoing arguments were having on her daughter, Ammon. She acknowledged that Manny shouldn't have been made to deal with her mother and stepmother's animosity in public. Dixon said, softly mentioning her child, "She shouldn't be pulled into this mess. She's a child. Her well-being is all that matters to me. I simply want this to be over so we can move on," demonstrated the baselessness of the accusations. "This is something you take to the authorities." Can focus on what matters most. Dixon saw the interview as an opportunity to regain control over her story and present her side of the story in a way that had not been available to her previously. She had decided to handle the situation quietly in order to save money and had remained mostly silent during the initial period following the claims. But the drama she was witnessing compelled her to speak up and defend herself against what she perceived to be a coordinated campaign of lies and misinformation throughout the talk. For the sake of her daughter, Dixon felt she had to handle the situation in secret. But as things got worse and Bambi's claims became more credible, Dixon's determination to put her daughter's happiness and well-being first was evident as she thought back to the challenges they had faced. She wished to shift attention from the public display of their rivalry to the creation of a more favorable atmosphere for Manny, free of the negativity that had marked their fight with Bambi. Gathered momentum online, Dixon took the opportunity to defend her reputation and fight back against what she called a campaign of lies and misinformation. During the interview with Carlos Can, Dixon did not hold back when talking about her personal dislike for Bambi. Even though their relationship had never been cordial, the allegations of abuse took their conflict to a whole new level. Dixon claimed that she had made numerous attempts to keep their relationship amicable. Dixon shed tears and said, "It's very clear that we'll never get along. To be honest, I don't mind at all. I'm over it. Just stop putting each other down and focus on what matters. We don't have to like each other." Although Scrappy's rivalry with Bambi continued, Dixon mentioned Scrappy's other ex-partner, Diamond, in passing during the Carlos King interview. Continued to dominate the conversation. Her mention of Diamond hinted at the complicated dynamics of Scrappy's past relationships and how they impacted the present conflict. Dixon didn't go into tremendous detail about her feelings for Diamond, but it was evident that the conflict between Scrappy's relationships with the other women made the already challenging circumstances worse. Dixon's interview with Carlos Can was recognized in the history of the fees for numerous spectators and fans.